Okay, so TCS is in the game. So you don't really want to do this where you do a charge slash from unsheath state because that wind up time just takes too much time. So it's a little interesting that they're showing it in the trailer. So one thing I'm curious is if they're going to buff charge slash level 1 for Monster Hunter Wilds, because in Monster Hunter World, it did not have any damage increase. In Sunbreak, it did have a damage increase. So hopefully they take the Sunbreak version of charge slash 1. See, that's how you should be playing Greatsword is Sheath and then Draw Slash. It's much faster. And the biggest buff to Greatsword from a passive stat perspective is just weapon speed. Yeah, so there you go. You sheath it. Okay, so you sheathed it, went into a charge, and then tried to tackle it. Well, let's see how that plays out. Okay, so he did a jumping slash after that. Now, the thing about jumping wide slash in Monster Hunter World is that its damage is actually not that good unless you inherit charge levels. So that's kind of interesting. He did a level 0 inheritable jumping wide slash. Now, we'll have to actually see what the damage numbers and the motion values are like. And the recovery out of jumping wide slash is significant. And the recovery in this trailer for jumping wide slash is also quite bad from that last few seconds. So it says you can guard with Greatsword. Now, I wouldn't recommend just guarding like that with Greatsword, especially that knockback. That knockback is almost reaching like 60 frame territory, so you don't really want to guard like that. The correct way to use guard, and I should have explained this in a previous video, but you want to do a draw slash and then roll out of it, forward roll, so you take as little frames as possible to roll out of it with the forward roll, and then after that you guard if the monster is catching you in a recovery out of your roll. That's how you should be using guard for Greatsword, and I'm really sad I didn't explain that in a previous video. So it's draw slash, roll, guard if you need to, because the guard startup frames is pretty much 0, so you're always protected from a roll catch in Monster Hunter with Greatsword. Okay, so this is a new move that we actually saw in the previous trailer, and I'm not really sure what it is. It definitely looks like a weapon skill. I mean, it had a flashy sound that went with it. And one thing we're going to have to see is if these skills are on a resource management cooldown timer, like the wire bugs in Sunbreak. So we'll see. Okay, so that's interesting. So after that uppercut skill, he did a tackle, which looks like he's going to go into a jumping wide slash here. So that kind of looked like a super jumping wide slash. Let's look at that again. Uppercut, tackle, jumping. Okay, so it's like a double super jumping wide slash. It really seems like they're trying to show off jumping wide slash in Monster Hunter Wilds. And honestly, if they promote jumping wide slash, and jumping wide slash is much stronger for Greatsword in Wilds, that'd be really interesting, because jumping wide slash I feel wasn't that utilized as much unless for very niche cases in Monster Hunter World. So that'd be a welcome change, I think, to really integrate jumping wide slash more into the damage rotation moves that you typically do with Greatsword. Okay, that was interesting. He was kind of just wobbling around. There seems to be a reticle on screen. Not sure what that's for. I feel like that sideways attack is some sort of skill. It's a strange attack. Oh, that was focus mode. It said down there focus mode. So I guess you're using focus mode to attack the weak points or the glowy parts that appear. Okay, so that was definitely a sneak attack. I believe they said sneak attacks were in Monster Hunter Wilds. The thing I'm curious about is for sneak attacks, if you get a guaranteed flinch off of it, and I think that is going to be the case. So that's pretty interesting. Flinches are very valuable in Monster Hunter. So he did a true charge slash counter into the monster while it's attacking. Definitely really risky.